Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short, little unboxing video to share with you guys. We've got something from Bestech. I actually took it out of the initial packaging because I didn't recognize the address on the front, but I figured, I figured out very quickly it's a Bestech knife. So I haven't actually gotten it out of the bubble wrap yet. Save that part for you guys. Thanks so much to Bestech, who I assume sent this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex, and at least for the time being, on TikTok at _metal_complex. Okay, I don't need to cut it open. It just came open. So what we have here is a pretty thick, it's weird. It feels like there's a huge knife in here, but it's not super heavy. So, we have two knives in here. That's why. And a bunch of stickers. All right. We got something purple and something red. Okay. All righty. We got some, I do like the amount of color in this carbon fiber. We went through a certain time period in the knife world where these colored carbon fibers were interesting, but it was almost like diet, it was like low battery carbon fiber. It just really, when it was like red, it was like 99% black and like a little tiny bit of red or something. This stuff has much more color in it. This is actually kind of red and orange. Lava flow or magma carbon, is that what we call it? Okay. Yeah, all right. Pretty straightforward. I've certainly seen this profile many times. But it is nice, and it is certainly very, EDC oriented. I think this is actually hollow ground. Yeah, it is. That edge is pretty darn thin. Let me get a little piece of paper here. Here we go. This is my cheat sheet from the video where I did the budget knives, or the knives under 100 ranks. Yeah, actually, that's very, very thin. That is biting ferociously, for sure. So we have some titanium here. This is not a bolster. It's actually parts like a faux bolster. That lock bar comes all the way up there. We have, what's going on inside the pivot here? Just really thick bearing cages, I guess. But, the end result is an extremely solid lockup and very, very smooth action. Let me actually take a moment to emphasize that. The action on this is really, really nice. I mean, that is superb. That is better than what I normally expect from Bestech, and it's better than what I would normally define as smooth action, right? That when you say smooth action, it doesn't hold a lot of weight anymore because everything seems to have smooth action. This is, I would say, a good half step above that at least. And you can see it doesn't take much motivation to get it to go into the closed position. And it's not an enormous blade, right? It's not just mass or weight causing it to fall. It's really nicely tuned, very nicely centered as well. Very easy to access that area in here thanks to this cutout and the positioning of it. Very cool. Also, really like the short pocket clip. That is a huge bonus. I'm not sure. I think, what do we call this? Cant? I think that's what they call that. It's the tilt of the pocket clip, or the angle, the position that it puts it in your pocket. Sometimes there's a benefit to that. Okay, actually, yeah. I don't like how it looks, but I do understand why they do it. Right away, the tilt does make it carry. I don't know why the curvature or the angle there as it goes in and out of the pocket feels really good. Okay, so that's cool. We have a red one, and then I would assume, maybe this is the only other color. God, man, that really looks good. So as far as colors go in general, if you were to ask me of all the most standard colors, rank them, number 1 through 10, 1 being your favorite, the color purple wouldn't be very high. But for some reason, when it's this fat carbon stuff, I have to assume, right? This is what do they call this? Nebula, or there's some fancy word for it. This particular purple and magenta carbon fiber, when it's real thick and chunky, looks really, really good. And I think it's the matte mixed in with the grays, like the slightly reflective grays and blacks of the carbon fiber. I think that is what does it for me. Since the purple does not reflect the same way as the black and the gray around it, it just really looks cool. Really looks kind of mysterious, like some sort of witch's brew. I don't know how else to describe it. It just looks really, really good. I like it. This is the same. I mean, it's literally the exact same. I want to see. Yeah. So it wasn't just a fluke with that first one there. These are both, they both have identical action. These have been like, you know, intentionally tuned, or these are, whatever they're doing here with these is different than what we normally get from Bestech, and honestly, different from, you know, what I expect from their general competition. This feels better than what We generally puts out. You know, lots of other companies, like Riyad's really, really nice, but I don't even generally expect that type of action from Riyad. I mean, there's a handful of other, like your Kubis and your Reich or your Max Ace, all that stuff. It's all really great, but this honestly feels really like something special there. It kind of reminds me of the Kaiser Militaw, and anybody who's owned that knife knows exactly what I'm talking about. That knife inexplicably has like vapor, like air pockets underneath two perfectly flat sheets of glass. That type of action, right? Where you set something down, something that's hard on top of another incredibly, like one smooth surface that's perfectly straight on top of another incredibly smooth surface that's perfectly straight, and it actually glides because there's like air trapped underneath there. That's kind of what that feels like. That's the best way for me to describe it. Let's measure these. I'm talking a lot. We're like, yeah, we get it. It's smooth. Okay. The length here, and these will be linked with their proper names in the description. If you're like, why hasn't he said what a name is? Tell us what it is. It's in the description. It's just easier for me to do it that way. 7.75 inches with a 3.5 inch blade. Honestly, really, really nice ratios there. 3.5 inch blade for 7 3/4 inches. Inches is very, very good. Balance, whoop. Actually, right where you're going to put your index finger, pretty close to the pivot. Pretty darn close, actually. That's really nice. I would venture to guess that this weighs in the mid-3s. Let's give it a go here. Just a hot guess. Yep, 3.35 ounces. That is right there on the money. Why does that one weigh less? That's weird. Okay, 3.25. 3.21, this scale. It's time, guys. It's time to retire this scale. This is too much variance. 3.21 is unmistakably heavier. What secrets do you hold? I don't even know what the blade steel is on these. Why would one be heavier than the other? Explain, somebody. Why is the red carbon fiber heavier than the purple carbon fiber? Okay, well, that's weird. Anyways, this is not a review. This is just an unboxing and first impressions. I'll have to carry and use these knives a little bit before I can give my complete thoughts, but you can expect to see these knives sometime down the road in a complete, comprehensive review. For the time being, they'll be linked down in the description so you guys can check them out. That's going to be it today. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex, and for the time being on TikTok, at least for the time being, if they don't ban it, which they probably will. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. Now people are going to talk about it. On TikTok at _metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.